Good evening, and Happy New Year to everyone. We call the first meeting of 2025 Liberty County Board of Commissioners to order. Good to see everyone. Mr. Brown, has the meeting been properly advertised?
Yes, sir, it has.
Thank you, sir. We see evidence thereof. At this time, we're going to ask Bishop Kendall Page, if he will, please to come to lead us in our invocation and our pledge. Please stand if you will.
Happy New Year to all.
New Year.
Amen. Let's pray. Most holy and righteous God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the wisdom that you're going to download to the Liberty County Board of Commissioners, God, not only for their lives, but for the lives of the county at large, Father. We pray that you will guide them to all truth, to help all of us, God, to navigate through life and even through this county. God, we thank you and we bless you. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic to which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I was waiting on you. Hey. I want just to take a few minutes, if you will, to allow the commissioners to extend New Year's greetings to our constituents. So I'll just start off. Happy New Year to everyone, whether you're in the room or you're watching us via live stream. We look forward to a prosperous 2025. Liberty County has undergone, for lack of a better word, a tremendous amount of growth in 2024. I see Mr. Ricketson here. He and I talk often, and we don't see any fall off in 2025, so we appreciate the growth. We appreciate the commissioners working together to make Liberty County the progressive place that it is. As any teacher would say, there's always room for improvement, so let's work and do our very best to make Liberty County even a better place. I want to appreciate our staff, Mr. Jerry Brown and Mr. Joe Mosley. Ms. Maria is here, the staff that's here. IT, thank you all for what you do every day for our county also. We could not do it without you. We are just the face of the county, but you guys are behind the scenes doing the work. So please, Mr. Brown, express to all of your staff in next department head meeting how much we appreciate them. So Happy New Year. Once again, commissioners, look forward to working with you all as we continue to move this county forward. There much that lies ahead. We've accomplished much, and I'm proud of that. We didn't have a report card sometime. We've accomplished a lot. There's certainly much waiting to be done, and we look forward to working with you all in that respect. At this time, we're going to start. Let's start with Commissioner Walden and work our way down this end, if he doesn't mind.
You just put me right on the spot, Mr. Chairman. First of all, I want
He's
to
going to be
welcome
last.
everybody that's in the room. I went around and politicked everybody in it that I thought would vote for me. And the ones that can't, y'all go ahead and see if you can't move before the next 4 years. But it is indeed a pleasure to see a lot of people that's involved in the growth in this community. I mean, you got Jeff, you got Trent, commissioners that's up here now. Believe it or not, we'll argue and fuss and fight, sometimes right out here in the middle and sometimes behind closed doors. But in the end, the election is over. The presidential election, the county election, states and whatever. And we got to move forward. We got to continue to grow as much as we possibly can with good, genuine leadership that's up here, not just looking at Commissioner Gillard here, but all of us together can make this a better place. I spoke one time before, and my dad was probably the very first military retiree to run and win a seat in the city of Hinesville. Now, I didn't follow in his footsteps, not one bit. We deviate a lot of times on things, but I've seen Hinesville grow from basically caretaker status to we didn't even have a general out there. We had a colonel, and I believe his name was Ken Trail. I'm not positive, but I remember the Donahues, the different school teachers that really emphasize us doing the right thing as much as we possibly can. So it is an honor to be up here. It's not by no means an easy task, but we're gonna do the best we can, and I do appreciate the good bishop back there praying over us, because we need that as much as we need anything else. And I'll collect the donations now, and,
Yeah. Like you said, download wisdom into it. I was looking for the button. All right, Commissioner Gillett.
Yes, thanks, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank Liberty County as a whole, and in particular the constituents of District 5. I've completed my 4th term last week, and this week, on the 1st, I started my 5th term. And I've been blessed. I know the district lines in my district has moved twice, and I've lost some area in Homestown, which is where my wife is from, and I still have friends down there, and I continue to support the people of this county as a whole. So as a district commissioner, that's one thing, but you're also a county commissioner, and I'm just blessed to start my 5th term, and I want to thank again the commission for working with you guys, Joey and his staff, the county as a whole, and we'll continue to try to move forward for the next 4 years. Thank you.
The new kid on the block. Mr. Blunt, say hello to us.
Good afternoon. I'm newly elected Commissioner Timmy Blunt, District 4, Liberty County here. And I'm looking forward to working with each and every one of these commissioners and the chairman. I'm looking forward to working with the county administrators, you know. Any concerns and all, we're gonna try to work with them and do what we have to do to make things positive for Liberty County. We wanna keep Liberty County growing, but we wanna keep everything with our beauty. Keep Liberty County beautiful. That's one of our mottos that we got. Make Liberty County proud. That's what we want to do. We want to be Liberty County. I've been to some of these here recent courses that you have to take to be in these positions. We don't have no problems here once you listen to other people with some of the nightmares that they have in their districts and counties. I say that, but I know we have our little bit of problem, but we'll work through them, and I'm willing to work with each and every one we can. And I'd like to thank each and every one of you that's here, and I'd like to thank each and every one from the 4th District that voted for me, and I hope to make Liberty County proud.
Thank you, sir. Welcome, Commissioner Thrift.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate it. Thank you. Happy New Year, everyone. Those are in the audience and those that may be on live streaming. I appreciate the opportunity to serve. Also for my constituents in District 3, and I appreciate them and look forward to serving them as many years as I can. And I appreciate each one of you that sit to my right and to my left, and all that we've been able to accomplish over the past several years and many years to come. We've got challenges within this county, but I look forward to us all working together and accomplishing many of those tasks that we have before us. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Frazier.
Good afternoon, everyone. To everyone in the audience and also the ones that's on the live stream, I want to thank you all for allowing me to represent District 2. Wow, since 2013.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, it's truly a blessing. You know, I remember I was a new kid on the block up here. I was the youngest. Hold up, I guess I'm still the youngest, but we've been able to accomplish a lot together as a commission, and you know we do have a lot to be Liberty County proud about. I want to thank each and one of my fellow commissioners for all the hard work, and just like Commissioner Walden said, we might not see eye to eye on everything, but I know every last one of us, we have the right intentions and the heart for Liberty County. But with that being said, we are growing, and we're growing tremendously, and we have to be strategic with the growth. So with this, we have challenges that are coming our way. I would love to get support with the Economic Development Authority, get that off the ground, and also to truly make Liberty County a place where we can live, work, and play. And, you know, I've been asking for help with that as well, you know, with us increasing our recreation, and not just for our youth, but for the adults as well. We have to make sure that we stay on the radar in this area, because there are other communities around us that are implementing those in place, and they're growing as well. So I just want to make sure that Liberty County stays on the radar and stays attractive. And also, another thing I want us to look at from a county standpoint is a community development department. The truth of the matter is, these are hard times for a lot of people. You know, we have a lot of people that are blessed in Liberty County, but we have a lot that aren't in the same position that we're in. I see every day, my district is unique. I think now I'm the only one who my district is totally inside of the city of Hinesville now. And I see a lot of homeless. I see it around my business. I see it while I'm riding around the city of Hinesville. But it'd be ludicrous to think that homelessness is only inside of the city limits of Hinesville. I know for a fact City of Hinesville spends over $250,000 a year on homeless prevention, and I think they're the only municipality that puts any money to the side. So also, I would request that we start looking at some type of way where we can help the city of Hinesville and also our citizens outside of the city limits of Hinesville with homelessness as well. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner. Closing it out. District
Close it
1.
out. To God be the glory. Today, in this meeting, begins my 27th year as a county commissioner. And out of 27 years, I've only missed a total of 3 meetings. God has been good to all of us up here. To Mr. Brown, Mr. Mosley, all my fellow colleagues, like Commissioner Wallen said, sometimes it seems like we are fussing, but we're fussing for the good. And when we ain't up for the people. To those, this year, I would like to perhaps see us looking for a grant writer, because in some cases, we are leaving a lot of money on the table, a lot. Yeah, it's gonna take money to make money. And like I say, that could be for roads, equipment, emergency equipment, or anything else. And let us not be blind to the fact of trying to continue lowering our taxes, but in the same token, improving our quality of service. So I say this, the more we keep the citizens informed, it makes our job a whole lot easier. And we must continue to keep our voters, taxpayers, citizens informed to the best of our knowledge to make us look like we are really Liberty County proud. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all for your remarks. I think you took some good notes, didn't we, gentlemen? Thank you. All right, moving right along with our agenda, Commissioner Walden, so let's get down to it tonight, as I'm with you.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
do
sir.
we need to make a recommendation, a motion to amend it?
It's on here.
Oh, it is? I did not look at
Yeah,
it.
it's on there. It's on there. It's on there. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, the minutes for the month of December will require approval, Commissioners.
Second.
Motion second, we approve the minutes for December 3rd and 19th. Any further discussion? There be no in favor, a show of hands, please. All right, you got your first vote in. All right. Minutes are approved. Departmental reports, Mr. Rickerson. While he's coming, I pulled it up. February the 19th, I think, is our mid-year review. Yes, for the county. So everybody, I think everybody probably got the email reminders, but I just want to remind the commissioners that's when our mid-year review will be February 19th. Yeah.
Jeff, I had a couple people ask me, could they get some flyers, something so that they could put up at their business?
Yes. You're talking, I mean, that's,
He's talking about the comprehensive plan.
The comprehensive plan?
oh, yes, absolutely. That our last meeting of the comprehensive plan is coming up a week from, on January the 27th at the Dorchester Village School. And I will get you some flyers for that.
Okay, all right, okay.
Thank you. But
Make a motion to go into public hearing.
Second. All in favor, show of hands. Public hearing. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, Commissioners, our first item this evening is a rezoning petition that's been submitted by Mr. Donald E. Ballman to rezone 6.61 acres from A1 agriculture and AR1 agricultural residential to C3 highway commercial on, he wants to do a general automotive repair and storage lot for boats and RVs. This property is located on Leroy Cofer Highway and is further described as parcel number 157002. And this is a photo of the sign on the property. You can see in the background there is Leroy Cofer, and you can see the ad in the Coastal Courier. And this is a vicinity map. You can see Rogers Pasture Road there going into the Liberty County Solid Waste Facility there, and you can see Leroy Cofer. This is in a curve right there at the intersection of Rogers Pasture and Leroy Cofer. It's a very large tract of land, it's about 150 acres. They just want to rezone a 6-acre piece, and I'll show you a closer up photo of that. And this is a zoning map. You can see the area. Most of the property is zoned A1 agricultural. The light green area, which is about the first 350 feet off of the highway right-of-way, is AR1. So they're wanting to zone a portion of that and a portion of the back part to C3 commercial for this auto repair shop. And this is just a plat, same property there that we were looking at. This is the whole 150 acres, just showing you where it is, again, near the intersection of Rogers Pasture. And this is the area that they're requesting to be rezoned. This is the 6.161 acres of property right on the upper corner of that piece of property. There's another piece of property over here, I think, that also they're doing something with, but that's not part of this request here. And floodplain, you can see that some of the property, there's really not a whole lot of property that's in the floodplain, in the 100-year floodplain, just a very minimal amount. And most of the property is in the 500-year floodplain or not in the floodplain at all. And wetlands, there are some wetlands on the property, but this piece of property you saw over there, there's a minimal amount of wetlands on this corner that they're actually wanting to rezone. And this is their site plan, pretty simple site plan, Highway 196. The 4-bay repair garage here, the office located here, and in the back is a fenced-in area that they would like to allow people to pay to store vehicles in the rear of the property. And this is their narrative. They'd like to, this 6.161 acres has about approximately 367 feet of road frontage on Highway 196, Leroy Cofer. Primary use of the location will be utilized as a general automotive repair facility. The repair shop will be a 30 by 80 metal building with 4 garage door bays for maintenance. Services such as general automotive repair, oil changes, tune-ups, as well as mounting, balancing, and wheel alignments will also be provided. The adjacent repair building will be a 20 by 30 metal building utilized as an office building with customer waiting area. Outside the office building will be a small sales lot to accommodate the sale of a small number of used cars. The area of the repair shop and the office buildings is estimated to utilize under 1 acre of the whole 6-acre piece that they're asking to be rezoned. Approximately the back 4.5 to 5 acres of the remaining space will be fenced in and utilized as a self-storage area for RVs, boats, and vehicles. Additional long-term plan will be to acquire 2 tow trucks and offer towing services for area residents. And this, again, is just a picture of the highway in front. I want to point out to you one thing. This area is coming out of a straightaway going around a curve. The property is right here on the right-hand side of the road. This is a divided highway. If it weren't, there would be concerns about maybe blind spots pulling out onto the road here, but this is a divided highway, so you don't really, unless somebody's really going the wrong way on this right-hand lane, that's not going to be an issue. The sight distance is not going to be an issue for this property. And that's just another picture showing our sign there in the foreground and the vehicles going down the road. Our zoning analysis, does this property have reasonable economic value as it's currently zoned? It does. Number 2, does the proposed use conform to the Fort Stewart Joint Land Use Study? It does. Number 3, does the proposed use conform to the Liberty County Comprehensive Plan? And our comment there is that the comprehensive plan designates this property as both mixed-use rural corridor and agricultural forestry. The immediate frontage of Leroy Cofer is shown as mixed-use rural corridor. The mixed use allows for a commercial as primary uses, which is what he's asking for, and industrial secondary uses. They're not asking for industrial type uses. Number 4, will there be an adverse effect on the value and usability of nearby properties? We answered that no. Number 5, is the proposed use suitable in view of nearby uses? We answered that yes. Number 6, will the zoning proposal create an undue burden on transportation, including streets, transit, schools, utilities, and public safety? We answered no to that question. Will this create a short-term gain at the expense of our long-term goals? No. Number 8, will this change cause a domino effect and encourage sprawl? Yes, it is very likely. There's a lot of other similar situated property on Leroy Cofer that could come in and ask to be rezoned as well. It's a very busy road, and it does have some commercial opportunity on that road. Number 9, are there unique historical sites that might be adversely impacted? We have not noted any. Number 10, is this area in a flood hazard area? As you saw on the previous map, it's not, none of it is in the 100-year flood area. Number 11, is it spot zoning and unrelated to the existing pattern of development? We answered yes to that because there's not a lot of other commercial development in the immediate vicinity. Most of it is forest land. Number 12, are there unique conditions that would support approval or denial? And we answered no to that one. Planning Commission heard this at their December meeting, and they recommended approval with standard and special conditions. And the special conditions are, there are 2 of them, that there be no outdoor storage of tires, junk vehicles, equipment, parts, or supplies. And then the second one would be that the parcel containing the 6.61 acres that's to be, would be cut out and deeded. So those are the 2 conditions, special conditions that the Planning Commission recommended. So I'd be glad to answer any questions. I think the applicant's here, and this is a public hearing, Chairman.
Let's just be fair, and let's hear from the applicant first. In your own words, Mr. Applicant, will you come to the podium, give your name, and then just kind of give us in 2 minutes or less what he just did in 8 minutes.
Yes, sir. Don Bowman. I own the 155 acres of the parcel that the gentleman described. I would like to convert about 6.5 acres of that as an auto repair shop for the county. I believe there's a definite need. I have family members that are certified mechanics, and there's always a need for auto repairs, and we feel that another auto repair business in the county would be of much benefit, especially in that area. I believe right on the highway there, it's about halfway between Richmond Hill and Hinesville, about 12 miles from either city. I believe that if we initiate a business there, like he just said, it's most likely to encourage other businesses to do likewise on the highway there. But it's mostly going to be for general auto repair, 4 bays, and offer boat and RV and auto storage in the back, secured area, fenced off, and monitored with cameras. Happy to answer any other questions you have.
Hold on just a second. Mr. Rickerson, the comprehensive plan categories Leroy Cofer as a mixed-use corridor?
Rural mixed-use corridor.
Okay.
All of Leroy Cofer is designated as that, so that would support the consideration
I
of
was
this.
going to say, those of us who live here, we know there are businesses on Leroy Cofer, so this is not, even though it said could encourage sprawl. I said, yes, I am. But it's already a mixed-use corridor, and we know that business is already along the highway. And I'm hearing Joey Brown my other year, property that is rural now is changing rapidly in Liberty County because of the county's growth. And you explained very well, sir. I hadn't thought about it being a amenity, I guess, something in that area for residents that live in the area, kind of you explained halfway point between Midway and the city of Hinesville. I just wanted to, now, and Jeff, you point out another little parcel of property is that pending for?
I did that only because I walked the property with the surveyor, and that's about 1.4 acres there, I believe.
That's yours too?
I have no.
That's your property?
It is, yes.
Okay, all right.
150
So
acres
once
is
again,
ours.
hold on. So There's no one to send letters to because he owns 100 and, how many acres?
155.
Yeah.
He would have gotten, anybody who lived across the street would have gotten one.
Okay.
And anybody on this side would have probably
They
gotten.
would have been within range? Okay. And what's the feedback on that?
We didn't get any responses on that.
Okay, all right. Yield, Commissioner.
Question, go back to your special, right there where it says there shall be no outdoor storage of tires. Can you elaborate on that a little bit more? I mean, because if you're changing tires, what's the way of disposing them? Because the average place I see change tires, they have tires outside. And they have, if it's gonna be a garage, you're gonna have some cars that you can't repair, right away, or people just don't have the money. How would that be looked at, Jeff?
So, as far as the tires go, when you do replacements of tires, those get disposed of through other means. So we won't store them there. We'll find the means to dispose of them properly through other channels. And autos, as far as equipment and things like that, the facility that we have is 30 by 80 feet. About the first 40 feet of it is the 4 bays. So we'll have an extra 40 by 80 feet, 40 by 30 feet of storage space inside the building itself to store any kind of equipment or cars that can't be moved. If a car is going to be there for long term, that would probably go back into the secondary area where the RV and boat storage would be, which would not be visible from the highway. Most of that area of the storage would not be visible from the highway.
Do you plan to put any kind of border fence up to shield this from the highway?
The storage area itself is going to have a fence around it, but I didn't have an intent to fence off the first portion where the auto shop is going to be. I just wanted that a driveway to be able to go into the office area and the auto repair shop itself.
Mr. Chairman, and I was want to piggyback on what Commissioner Stevens said. I mean, when it's got no storage and it's no is emphasized with this underline here, and I've seen repair shops, and I know the intentions are good, but to put this special condition in there, and I'll just go out and just say that's virtually impossible to not have equipment that's going to be there. Now, I don't know what you would consider junk. That it's a car that's there for that hadn't moved in a month, 2 months, 6 months, and the gentleman said that it won't be visible. I don't think they would. When I read this, they were not really concerned about whether you can see it. It's whether or not it's there. I mean, visibility is one thing, but we're not saying if it's visible.
Yes, sir. Well,
you know.
If we're going with that definition, though, junk cars, we have no intention of storing junk cars.
I can
there,
understand
cars.
intentions.
So, but by the definition, the junk cars would not be there. That's not part of what we would be doing. We would be doing auto repairs, turning them around and getting them back to the customer.
You're gonna fix them, they're gonna drive them off, and they won't be there.
Correct. As far, I guess if you go to junk cars, I would have to know what the definition of that is. If that was like a junkyard, there's no intent to have a junkyard type facility here. Strictly auto repairs.
I mean, I'm quite sure there's a difference in a junkyard, let's say like Coastal out in Long County. That's
Right.
That's totally different, and we're not saying that. But someone brings the car to the shop to get it fixed, and it's, for whatever reason, it's there for a period of time. And in most of these kind of businesses, over a period of time, there will always be cars there for one reason or another, abandonment, not paying or whatever. But for that special condition to be there and emphasize, I don't think that's going to happen. But I don't just wanted to just discuss that a little bit, just to piggyback on what Commissioner Stevens said, and as for tires, I mean, you can, there are ways to dispose of tires, but, that doesn't happen, the same day either. I mean, they'll be there. Unless they're not, but I just can't imagine, the people that pick up old tires come in there every day. Okay, thank you.
Chairman, if I could,
Chairman,
if I could.
Can I say, go ahead.
Go ahead,
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead. And I know this, Mr. Stevens, but I don't know that we could tack that no emphasized on there either. After owning a repair shop for 43 years in the city of Hinesville, the tire disposal company that we used out of South Carolina, he ran as he had enough in this area to pick up. You know, it could be 3 months, it could be 6 months. When he had a load that called out in this area, he'd come. So, you know, and I'm all for this and for the growth and for what he's trying to do there. I think it's a great idea. But I don't know that we can impose no on the special conditions.
If I could just
They-
elaborate on
They
what.
will be there.
Yeah.
And so will your junk cars for a little while.
I think the planning commission their thought was that this is a major entryway into our community. And maybe the words should have been visible from the highway. No storage
That's right.
visible
Yeah,
from the
visible.
highway.
If they can put them in the back like he's wanting to do, that'll make all the
I even
difference.
think a fence would be appropriate between the front and the back lot. Because, just so you know,
The back lot meaning the
the storage area.
The
yes,
storage,
that-
One
that's
ninety-six,
planned.
we're trying to protect our quote-unquote gateways, so that when people riding in Liberty County, they don't see unsightly looking. Yeah, so, and listen, I got a friend that runs a garage, and I know he's had trouble for people coming to pick up vehicles after
That's right.
X number of months and stuff with different stories about why they can't pick them up, so they sit there. And he's in a small city, and that small city has been on his case about, you know, those need to be moved, kind of thing. So it does happen, my friend, it does happen. You may not call them junk cars, but they're cars that are unclaimed because of various situations. Commissioner Blunt.
I'm in agreement with everyone up here. I mean, I got some concerns, and they've already been kind of voiced. Number one, I'm not against you having a business. I'm all for growth and entrepreneurs and everything. Looking at some of the verbiage and this stuff, I think it should be changed, you know. As Commissioner Thrift said, that term "no," that's a harsh term right there. Some other concerns I have in that area, being raised up on that end of the county and all over Liberty County. I know about this wetland floodplain, but that's a low-lying area down there. It may have some stuff that some people might call hills. Some of us locals here might call them tussocks. You know, small areas that's just above the floodwaters. Fleming just experienced 2 floods. So that 100-year plan, these 500-year plans, they don't mean squat to me. That happens. It's out of our control. It's just nature. Almighty God's in control of it. All we can do is try to plan the best that we can plan for this. In this rezoning part, I can't help but to think that some of this here, what he's wanting to zone out right here, this 6.16 acres, it's gonna be right on the line of that. You got to do a lot of fill, right?
Yes, that's
Filling in with
anticipated.
dirt and pavement or crush and run or something? Okay, so every time we fill something in, we create water that's gonna push somewhere else. And that's one thing that over the years, we've had to learn. Every time we fill in something and we wanna create businesses or homes, there's gonna be a reaction. The reaction when the water comes, it's gonna go somewhere. And it has showed us this past year in August, and 93 days later, it would do it twice. I just want to make sure everybody's looking at everything like they should.
He will, if approved, he will have to submit an engineered site plan for the county to review, and it'll be inspected by the inspections department as well.
It,
I'd ask Mr. Stevens if he'd yield just for a moment here, because I see something that don't, your picture there, Jeff, of the divided line highway. I mean, even in the middle of Hinesville, you're gonna find somebody that's gonna try to turn around to get back to the Burger King. And that's exactly what's gonna happen down there, is it's in that curve any way you wanna look at it. And the last thing they're doing is, I mean, Commissioner Gillard's got trucks that go in and out the transfer station. We've got trucks that leave out of there. But if you go past your business, then you're gonna cross another lane of traffic to come back. Now, we set up here a couple of years ago, and I know Commissioner Stevens remembers this, right at 84, the piece of property that Mr. Salters had, no, we had to have, they're gonna have to wind up having a decel lane in there. And, that's not even been talked about. Now, even though it is a state corridor, if you wanna call it that, if you're gonna have it, 3 miles down the road, you're gonna have to wind up having it here also. In Commissioner Stevens' district, Mr. John Roberts wanted to put a place on the E.B. Cooper Highway just to park vehicles, and we had to, there's no decel lane, so that's gonna be an issue. I don't care if it says no, if, maybe, or what if. Somebody's gonna cross that road, and that's not gonna be the safest place for it to be. Now, I know you can't control it, you're gonna be in there turning wrenches, and somebody's gonna crash, and then you'll get the Hall bill of pulling him off the highway, I guess, but I just, that's an issue for me, because Jeff just mentioned it, that's supposed to be a corridor, and we're gonna be driving up and down it, the last thing we're gonna be wanting. How many times have they crashed, Joey, at Pate Rogers Road, crossing over there, across 84, at the shortcut? And I'm talking about people stopped. So, not against your business, not one bit. I'm just saying that we may need to rethink the way you're getting on and off the road, because when you turn right, you then got to go down and turn back left to come into town, because you can't cross that median. It's grass or it's got a ditch in it. So that's just some things that, we can sit up here and turn a blind eye to it, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to say it needs to be addressed now. And surely somebody from the planning commission besides you drove down there and looked at it.
We did.
So, and they didn't see it being an issue.
No, I mean, the planning commission actually had some discussion about it, but from this property, pulling out, you have to take a right. You can't take a left, so you're not gonna pull out. It's a straightaway coming from Hinesville this way, so you can see all the way down the road from the left, from the traffic that's coming at you, and the traffic that's coming from this direction, even though it's a curve, there's a median that separates you. They're not gonna hit you unless they jump the median themselves.
Well, what I'm saying is that vehicle that doesn't see that place and says, I gotta get off the side of the road, I gotta turn around.
Have to go to the next break.
I'm just saying that if a person goes past that, then he's got traffic backed up, somebody's running into the back of you, so, not at all against your business. I mean, I think, that's something that we need here that works on heavy equipment, tires or whatever it is, but.
I guess I'm not seeing.
Do what?
Guess maybe I'm not understanding your concern, sir, but at that point right there, if you're going north towards Richmond Hill, that point right there is a turnaround spot. And just on this side of the property going south, just past the property is another turnaround spot, because there's a.
See if I can see a little closer.
But if you're going toward Richmond Hill.
Towards Richmond Hill.
And driver number A says, oh my Lord, I'm fixing to have to stop.
Sure.
That's where the issue's at. He's gotta go past it and then turn around and come back.
Sure, there's 3 different spots to turn around.
Yeah, I know every one of them.
And every one is a slowdown lane, so.
There's not a slowdown
Well,
lane down there. I mean,
it's off Main 2, right?
Right, we don't have a decel lane down there, and that's what I'm saying.
Under what's going to be required by GDOT, GDOT's going to be a heavy lift.
They
We're
are.
gonna have to get by
That's what I was thinking.
Because of Rogers Pasture Road and the heavyweight vehicles coming out of there and dump trailers from the sand mining operation and everything. They'll either permit it or won't permit it. They'll put those stipulations on there. I'm confident they'll have a decel lane, especially for RV and boat repair. And they may actually, my recommendation for them at the time would be that they put a ride out only there and not allow people to hit that break at Rogers Pasture where you got competing traffic with boats and trailers and RVs and heavy equipment. Put a ride out only, make them go the next U around, so they have time to safely merge over to the left lane.
Come back.
Go in what would be, I guess, correct. Otherwise, it will be.
Well, and I don't
It will
know,
be a safety hazard, trying to get RVs and boats out of there to make to hit and compete with traffic and see that southbound traffic coming from Richmond Hill and compete with garbage trucks and sand mining operation trucks and all coming out of that Rogers Pasture interchange. But
I just
Don't
don't
be
want the gentleman to assume, Jeff, that this is gonna be, he can work it, and then all of a sudden, the plan with DOT is gonna fall into it, and I don't guess none of your folks has talked to DOT about it. And
They
let's-
wouldn't.
I would say, let's wait till the DOT and you get together to see if you've got to have one. Now, we didn't ever think that DOT would, up there on a stoplight on Highway 84, would keep them from being able to use that piece of property. I mean, it's 80-something acres. Well, this right here is a little bit smaller than that. And I don't want us to come up here and turn it down where wind up later on you having to, do away with your plan. That's my only real reason for mentioning it, is we have had projects out here that decel lanes have pretty much stopped them. I know the Salters piece and the John Roberts piece on the other road, but it's not my district. I'm just trying to,
We didn't stop John Roberts.
I got it across the
We
road.
just told him,
And I could see where it would be
yeah.
if this is zoned commercial, you're subject to have the other properties over there,
Yeah.
they could become commercial pretty easy.
Commissioner Frazier trying to get in?
Yes, sir. Again, I think everyone up here, we're pro-business. I don't think that's any of the questions or the concerns, but we also are pro-safety of the other, of our constituents as well. Then, Mr. Rickerson, you know where I'm going. Right. So we're looking at number 3, correct? And we're saying that on our comprehensive plan, it designates this particular portion of our corridor as mixed-use rural
Whole corridor.
Okay. This is 2025. How long, in your projection, how long do you think that's going to be a mixed-use rural? When are we looking at, Huntsville's full. They say, the term Atlanta's full, Huntsville's full. So all the growth is coming either to the east end or the west end of the county. So when we're looking at growth, hopefully I'm still around. I see that 196 corridor being full all the way to Savannah, to Richmond Hill and everything. I think you see it that way as well. So another one of my concerns is how are we looking at the future development of that area? It goes back to what were we just discussing about GDOT and about, decel lanes and everything. But more importantly, what type of businesses are we going to let go over in that area? Because, again, we're going back to the other questions that I just don't understand. And I guess they're looking at it from case to case. But you and I both know domino effect and sprawl, whenever you're dealing with real estate, those aren't really nice words. And it goes back to, okay, if we allow him to do it, who says somebody else, our hands would be tied. So I'm always concerned and vigilant of whenever we go through the zoning analysis, and I look at number 8, and when it goes, asks it, will this change cause a domino effect or encourage sprawl? And the answer, I think, says yes, very likely. And you know that's a real concern for me. It's just, so either, again, we have to reevaluate our comprehensive plan, and I'm not talking about the next 10 years, talking about the next 20, 25 years of where we're looking at where Liberty County is going to be at. Because one thing we do have, we have the beautiful opportunity right now, we have a blank canvas. But if we just start throwing colors all over the place, it's not going to be a beautiful canvas anymore. So I think that we really need to look into these more, I guess we could still call them rural areas, and make sure that we have a strategic plan strictly for that, to make sure what type of businesses, what type of residential are we going to allow in those particular areas, because of course that's going to help economic growth in those areas. And yeah, anytime I look at number 8 and it says yes, very likely, it just does something to me, honestly. And again, it's nothing against you, sir. It's the plan. And if the business doesn't connect with the plan, then domino effect, sprawl. Yes, very likely. That was the answer. And I don't know, Mr. Chair. And then the safety issue. That's one of the, like you said, we don't even know the numbers of how many accidents happen right there. You know, and we're not just talking about accidents, we're talking about fatalities that's been out there as well. So I don't know, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to hear what Ms. Rickson had to say about that, because I mean, I was just under the impression that if you all bring this to the planning and it says anything about domino effect or sprawl, I don't know how they come to us approved. When, you know, I've been in a situation where it was spot zoning, and this is definitely a definition of spot zoning as well, correct?
I can't agree with that. This rural mixed use has been in your comprehensive plan adopted by this board for 10 years. And we had a meeting out in that community. Mr. Blunt was there last spring. We talked about land use, and the community wanted any development to have the most intense development to continue to be on the highway,
Not in
less
the-
intense development to be off the highway.
I remember
And
that.
that's what the update that we're going to be bringing to you has got. So we're doing planning. We have been doing planning. We're still doing planning, and we're working the plan. This recommendation is consistent with the plan that you've adopted. So I don't know how else we can do that other than to just lay it out for you.
That's the reason why I asked, Jeff, if this is turned down for this gentleman, how much longer has he gotta wait before DOT can come in there and talk?
Well-
And say, this is what you got to do to operate your business. We don't have no control over that road out there. I mean, like Commissioner Blunt just mentioned, I mean, we can have to do a little work in the ditch maybe, but still,
It's
if it's
DOT.
voted down tonight, how much longer can you wait? 6 months, a year? I don't think so, or you wouldn't have been up here tonight. So what I'm asking is, if we table this, can he go back and see, number one, how far you gotta be from that intersection going in to the transfer station? How far are you gonna be able to get off the road? Sprawl or growth or whatever it is. I'm not wanting to close his business down or even keep him from having a business. I just know that there's questions that's been up here tonight that we've talked about in the past. I don't know if you've talked about the Gene Salters piece, but I seen Gene a couple months ago and he said, yeah, DOT wouldn't let me do something, so I gotta put a frontage road in. Well, that's gonna cost this gentleman some money, so let's talk about it and see what you wanna do with it.
Well, in order to get a driveway for this, GDOT has to approve it. There's no getting around that. They will have to approve a driveway, and if they require him to put in a decel lane, he'll have to build a decel lane
Or not
or
do the
not do the
project.
project. But typically, people don't want to invest in an engineer and pay thousands of dollars to come up with a site plan if they're not pretty sure that they're going to get the zoning. So that's the chicken egg thing.
That's been
People
our-
typically get the zoning first, then they pay an engineer to do a site plan, then they turn that site plan into your county staff, and the county staff reviews it, and the county staff is going to require GDOT approval of the driveway. GDOT's not going to let you build a driveway without approval.
That's been our precedent, y'all.
And that's the steps he has to take.
Yeah, so it's up to,
So it's,
yeah, I'm sorry.
You wanna move forward with it?
Unlike subdivisions, his site plan, this developed, would only go back to the county engineer for general site plan comments, and we can come back to the board.
No, this, the staff, if you approve C3 zoning, the staff has the ability to review the site plan and inspect the site plan construction.
What staff?
So, well,
Here-
it would be the county engineer basically that does a site plan review, and I just wanted to, I was pretty sure of that, want to make sure. The only issue is where he proposes to put the driveway without a site plan is gonna be south of that turn, and with boats and RVs trying to go across two lanes, hit that turn, which you couldn't prohibit them from doing, or put a stipulation on. Putting an exit more than an entrance coming on to 196 right there is a disaster waiting to happen. So my recommendation to you is that either you table it and let him do a preliminary site plan, and I understand exactly what you're talking about on the expense, or that you approve it with a stipulation that it requires, the site plan requires review by the board and GDOT before final approval to open. Because if he doesn't move that entrance, it's not gonna work there. Especially for boats and RVs trying to pull back out on that highway and hit that turnaround at Rogers Pasture Road. That entrance, if it's gonna work at all, needs to be north toward Richmond Hill on a separate piece of property with a right out on it. So he has to go down, it won't be a lot better, but he'll go down to Rogers Pasture. Otherwise, he's got 65-mile-an-hour traffic on a curve coming south. Boats and RVs trying to pull out and make that turn to come back to Hinesville. As there will be, we'll do that. That's us.
Yes, sir.
You ready for a motion on this?
Tell me again, say again with your last recommendation.
That you put a stipulation on the zoning is approve the zoning contingent upon that site plan and recommendations being approved by the board, which, we need to sit down and talk.
That seems complicated.
to decide that.
Or either just table it and let us have a meeting with him and talk about that, probably the best.
So your second recommendation, preliminary site plan, and then GDOT's overview too, you said?
I think it's probably better if I'm in his position right now, hearing all the comments and the safety concerns, is to table it for tonight. Site plan at any specific location on that large acreage. Let us sit down and look at alternatives that could work for everybody.
How would that suit this gentleman?
Yeah, I'm waiting on him to say.
I think it would work best for you, like Joey's talking about. It'll give you a chance to kind of regroup, everybody to kind of talk about it and think things through just a little bit better. Nobody wants to say no to your business. I don't think nobody up here wants to say no to your business. It's just we, as commissioners, have to have the concerns of the safety of everyone and what we know is gonna happen.
I just need to know what the steps I need to take are, because I'm
That's
confused
what
on
I'm saying.
what.
I think we ought to come
what I
up
need
real
to do,
quickly
so.
this week if we can.
Yeah.
And just,
Commissioner,
together and talk about those with.
motion to table it, sir?
Chairman, I'm looking at it this way. We welcome your business, but we don't welcome wrecks, people losing their lives. I was gonna look at it this way, that the site plan be reviewed again, also by the LCPC and commission. Also, due to some of the language that was in the zoning analysis, where it says no. That's my motion is to table it until we can get it back to LCPC and bring it back to Board of Commissioners for another review. For safety reasons.
All right. Motion and a second. We table it, and they're gonna, Mr. Brown, where they're gonna huddle up and look at it. Mr. Bowman? Yes. Are you clear on that? Okay, all right. Any further discussion? All in favor of that motion? Show of hands, please. All right. Okay, sir. The references Commissioner Walden made where some other folk came before us too, and we saw some possible obstacles. So we just kind of laid it out and said, now this is what you could be facing. So same thing we do, you know, kind of, if you hadn't seen these things and heard these kind of concerns, you heard them tonight. So now kind of like the ball's in your court as to where you want to go. But certainly meeting with our staff would be a big benefit to you. Okay. But it's for your benefit as well as they said, it's for the safety of our citizens too. And we do, that's why I asked the question. We know Leroy Cofer is a mixed use, and we know growth is gonna happen. And I had forgotten, thank you for reminding me, that we said the growth, if there, we would what's the word, protect the properties off the road, but allow the frontage to be commercial some places where it's approved, because this president's already set with that. So thank you for reminding me of that. But I want you to be clear, where we're headed. I don't think these people just shot down my project or had me stand up here and just criticize my project. It's not that, sir. It's the total picture. Good?
Mr. Chairman, you know, it's a little scary that the Planning Commission said it's okay, except just don't leave no junk tires out there. That's what they said. I mean, now we've been here for 30 minutes, and we analyzed this thing to death, but they sent it to us with a thumbs up. Just don't leave your old tires on the ground. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Well,
You're gonna say it?
I've sat here and listened to the people in Commissioner Stevens' district, and it's a county road that goes to Yellow Bluff, and they were just driving, hauling dirt, and people had issues with it. And there's still issues, so it ain't that we want to put you out of business. That's the last thing I want to do. I mean, I know right up the road there's a lady got a dirt pit that's gonna come onto the road, but I'll be willing to bet you before she's ever allowed to come on that highway, there'll be a decel lane. So let's just try to get it right, and Jeff will help you with it. I guess he will.
Do what I can.
Yeah. You're gonna make a statement, so I think I read your mind, but I'll allow you to say it.
No, I just need to get.
No, Mr. Ricketson.
Yeah, I just wanted to defend the Planning Commission. I mean, the Planning Commission did raise the issue. We looked at it and we didn't see what you're seeing. We need to have this meeting and see what you're seeing, because I don't get it. But, you know, we'll have the meeting and maybe I will, my eyes will be open. But if you got a separated meeting, you got traffic coming down the other side, this traffic that's coming out of this driveway, this man's driveway, is not going to be getting southbound traffic unless somebody jumps a median. And as far as somebody going out and making a left turn, that's going to happen no matter what goes in that spot there. So I don't understand the thing, but maybe we can have that.
Just figure out, you can turn off of that road in your car or truck and go toward Richmond Hill, but you can't pull out of that driveway he's talking about with anything over 18 feet long without being in the other lane, Jeff.
You might have to go down to the next break. There's breaks up and down.
Get out into the road is what I'm saying,
Right.
and the road's not
You're
wide.
still gonna have that problem regardless to wherever you turn around with a certain footage of vehicle, you're gonna have that problem. You're gonna intersect with that other lane over there. And Jeff, just a recommendation, I would say see if you can get somebody from a safety standpoint to come and sit in that meeting.
That typically happens at the site plan review. We don't normally get into this level of analysis in a zoning meeting, but that typically happens at the site plan. You've got people on your staff that will do that site plan review. And GDOT has got people that will evaluate that driveway. So it happens at that level. We don't normally get into a full-blown analysis at a zoning level, because there's a lot of projects that happen in this county, and we don't analyze them all before the zoning is approved on them.
All right.
Guess we'll start.
Yes,
Maybe this is time we start.
yeah. And then, I'm also, well, let's move on, we'll talk more. So, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah. We already spent how long? Chair, entertain a motion to come out of, let's see, so there wasn't anybody who signed up?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second? Second.
Come out of executives. To come
Oh,
out.
they for the variance request?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Oh, yes, sir.
Oh, sorry. Okay, all right. But we went into public hearing for the, let's see, so, well, stay. All right, I'm sorry. Yeah. All right,
This was advertised for a public hearing as well.
okay, all right, sir.
All right, this next request is a variance request that's been submitted by Gary Gaddy to reduce the required front yard setback of 20 feet to 12 feet, and to reduce the required rear yard setback of 15 feet to 12 feet for a new manufactured home. This property is located at 118 Circle Drive in unincorporated Liberty County, and you can see there the parcel number. And this is just a picture of our sign. This road in Circle, this road is a dirt road. You can see the ad in the Coastal Courier. And you can see here, this property is located near Planting Hammock, and this is Cattle Drive here. And the property is
Just do one
located
again?
right here. There's a pond in the middle of this circle here, and this property backs up to the pond. I want to point out one thing, you might not be able to see it very well here, but this Kettle Drive here, or, I mean, is it Kettle Drive? Circle Drive, I'm sorry. It bulbs out right here in front of the property, so that's one unusual thing that will come up in a little bit further in the analysis. Why does road are here? The road is wider here than it is in any of the rest of the properties around that circle. And this is the zoning map. You can see there this property is zoned R8. All the property across the causeway there is all zoned R12, but this property in question is zoned R8. And this is just an old survey. This property in question here is lots 3 and 4 on this survey. You can see again the road gets a little wider in this area. That was a factor that we considered in making this recommendation. You can see that the entire property is located in the floodplain, zone AE. You can see the wetlands there. There are only wetlands here shown on this immediate area. Here is the pond in the rear of it. And this is just a sketch showing the kind of a diagram that was submitted by the applicant showing the placement of the current mobile home and the placement of the new mobile home that they're proposing to put in. This property right here is the existing home. You can see right there coming up here and down there. The new home is smaller. It's not as deep, so it won't be setting as close to the road as the old one, but they still have to have the variance in order to, because this one doesn't meet the variance and the new one won't meet this one doesn't meet the required setback and the new one won't meet the required setback either, but it'll be further away from the road than the old one was. And these are just 2 outbuildings on the property as well. This is the pond in the rear, and the road, the dirt road that services the lot is in the front of here. And this is their narrative. It just says that they have a need to replace their existing mobile home with a newer, more modern home because of they have family members that have accessibility issues, and they need to get a more accessible unit in that location. And the home that they've selected does fit the lot better than the old lots do, so that's why they still need to ask for the variance. This is our zoning sign that we placed on the property, and this is a picture of the existing home on the site. You can see there's the extent to which it comes out. All this area right here, most of this area out here is the actual right-of-way. So the new home will be set back further than this home is now. It'll be set back, I think, another 12 feet beyond this, a little bit closer to the lake in the rear.
Is there a driveway? I'm sorry. Sure.
The driveway?
Or is
The
this-
driveway is over on this
Driveway's
side. That's
over
one
to
of
the
their
left.
one of their 2 storage buildings on that side. the road comes out here in front of the house like that. And this is just another view looking past the side of the house back to the pond in the rear. And that is a picture of the pond in the rear. That's the rear end of the existing house. So the newer house will set back a little bit closer to the water, but it'll set further back away from the existing dirt road than the current house does. So the conditions, there are 4 conditions that you need to consider for granting this variance. Number 1, are there unique circumstances or conditions including irregularity, narrowness, or shallowness of lot size or shape, exceptional topographic or other physical conditions peculiar to this particular piece of property? And we answered that yes. The right-of-way widens to 70 feet in front of this property. The rest of the neighborhood has a 60-foot wide right-of-way. I don't know why it's 70 feet here, but this house is already burdened with setting further back from the road than all the other houses there. Number 2, the application of the requirements to this particular property would create an unnecessary hardship. Our answer there is yes. Due to the extra right-of-way, a standard manufactured home cannot be accommodated on this property. Number 3, the variance, if granted, represents the minimum variance that will afford relief and represent the least modification possible. We answered that one yes as well. The proposed manufactured home would be set back farther from the road than the existing home. So this is actually making things better than they currently are. And then number 4, we concluded that this would not cause substantial detriment to the public good or impair the purposes or intent. Planning Commission heard this at their December meeting, and they recommend approval with standard conditions. And the applicant is here, and they can give more detail than I gave.
Okay. Applicant, please state your name for the matter of record and just give us your 1 minute.
Wait a second. Gary Gaddy. The current mobile home, I tried to find it, it's a 1970-something, 71, it's old. We want to take it out, put a brand new one in. We already had an elevation survey done, so it don't have to be 10 foot in there, it's like 4 foot above ground, which will work for us. And we have 2 grandkids with special needs, so we don't need something that high up in the air, but with the elevation certificate we got, what we want to put in there will work. And it's replacing pretty close to what's there now, same size, 3-bedroom, 2-bath mobile home, so it's not huge rooms. And the current trailer is 2 foot off the property line, and the new one will be 12 foot. But going by the pictures, and when Lori went and looked, she was confused by the road around Circle Drive. The road is in the wrong place for where we ought to be driving, but it's been there forever, so.
Okay.
Yeah, we just need the extra few feet to put a 48-foot mobile home in.
Response from the neighbors, adjacent property owners?
Any response from the neighbors? We sent letters that we customarily send.
Okay. Anyone here to speak? I'm coming to you. Anyone here to speak for or against? All right, know where we are. All right. Commissioners, this.
Mr. Chairman? Oh, you want to say something?
Real quick. Mr. Rickerson, isn't this the same subdivision that we normally have been given variances in the past?
No.
It's a different one. Yeah, with the narrow lots. That's another one.
Just like it.
Yeah, well,
Just like it.
that's another
It's
one,
not the
yeah.
same one.
I remember those. Yeah, I remember those.
That's what I'm saying.
We haven't had many variances in this
No,
area.
none at all. None lately.
Yeah. So we're basically gonna pull one out and put another one in, just need to sit a little
Don't get
further
a
back.
dumpster and a high-ho and take it out.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I drove in that area today, took a look, and I see nothing wrong. It's an improvement. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we go along with the recommendation from LCPC on approving it.
Yeah, second.
Mr.
Discussion?
We have to come out, right? Public hearing?
Mm-mm.
To vote?
No, we can vote on.
We can
This
vote
was a
in-
public hearing as well as the other. It was advertised as a public
Yeah,
hearing.
we can vote.
Okay.
Mhm.
Second.
Okay. All right, any further discussion? All in favor? Show of hands, please. All right, variance is approved.
Thank you, sir. I heard nothing but good things about him.
Yeah. Was that it for you, Mr. Rickerson? All right. Take a motion to come out of public hearing back in the regular session. Second? Second. All in favor, show of hands. All right. Mr. Moses, are you driving or we waiting on Mr. Brown?
Are you doing this project? On Jones Creek?
I'm sorry? Jones Creek Park Improvements?
So we did receive proposals last month for the Jones Creek Pavilion. We did it with the base bid, which is your parking lot area, like that. We did it with two different types of buildings. One alternate one was a building with the little kitchenette and the restrooms like all of our other buildings. And then a second alternate was to build a building that's open air and then have a bathroom in a separate location. And we did alternate 3, which is the walking trail around the outside of the park.
Trent, we're looking for paperwork.
You guys didn't get a copy of that?
Am I the only one missing?
I haven't seen that.
Okay. All right, let me read a couple things to you then. That way we got it all get, yeah, that'd be great. Let me have this one. Because it's got the numbers I need. So I apologize. I didn't know that we didn't have a copy of this in your packet. I do apologize. So we had several bids. The lowest response proposal was from RL Construction. They're the contractor that is building our current building at Miller Park. Excuse me, the second proposer it was more expensive and doesn't have as much experience with this type of building. And they were more of a general contractor. And RL Construction right now is doing a pretty good job for us, so we felt like they would do well. We had a review committee of 5, and everybody rated RL Construction as the contractor to recommend for this particular project. Their price, and when we look at it, and I'm trying to stall a little bit when I'm talking so that you can see the numbers in the bids.
Go ahead, we'll look at them with you.
Okay, so the
Most of us write it down anyway.
the base bid in alternate 1 seemed to be the least expensive and way to go, which would give us our parking area, our roadway in there, and would give us our pavilion, and just like what we have now. We would just have more of a antebellum style roof on it. It's dressed up a little bit different to look a little different. The bathroom would be in the building. It would have the fencing around it like what we do now. The little wrought iron looking, so you can get in and rent out the place. And that would just be the building, septic tank, and the site work. And do that for $818,320. The second alternate, having it open air with the bathroom separate, was a little bit more expensive. Was not like what we have now, and we felt like it'd be harder to manage, not maintain, but manage. People using it, somebody may come up and use it, and somebody else have reserved it, and then it becomes a problem. We also looked at the walking trail, and the price for the walking trail was a little high on both of all the bids. So we felt like we could probably do the walking trail separate under a different contract. So what we'd like to recommend to you is just RL Construction with the base bid and the alternate, and their price is $818,320 each.
Trent, where's this RL Construction from?
They're out of Savannah. Actually, Rachel, they're doing Miller Park now. Yes, sir, and I think Rachel Lee worked on this building at some point. The courthouse renovation, okay.
I think you,
Before you walk away, I got some questions for you on Miller Park.
will remember this is my adopted project, and we're using some ARPA funds and
So,
some.
Mr. Chair, this would include, we have located funds. It does include your
Contribution.
adopted amount that you mentioned. And then, since you went ahead and awarded some money in ARPA, or awarded the 2 contracts you did last month that affected ARPA funds, it freed up some money out of there. Your money plus that money, and it's a little bit of SPLOST dollars that were in there, will cover the cost of what Ms. Long's recommending to you.
He's out, my gift to his district, he's out the room.
Mr. Chair, I just have one question. Trent, I think you know what question I'm about to ask. Oh, I thought you was on it. Just tell me without me asking.
Yes, sir. Joey, Delisa did send you the MWBE,
I have not, it would be contingent upon
right.
receiving that.
What I've seen, though, it looks like she did meet it.
All right. So,
And I know that she's calling and asking everybody.
okay.
Chairman, well, Commissioner Stevens is already back now. I mean, we've already spent his money, right?
I'm spending my money in his district. It's a gift. Happy New Year.
Finally, I got a free chunk out.
There's a lot of this here.
Well,
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna need a little help.
Mr. Chairman, one last note, the funds that we were able to locate do have enough to set aside the walking trail, so you would come back and look for other funds.
Great
down
then,
later.
yeah,
So
okay,
that'd be a better plan.
okay. All right. So we need to modify the 818 or,
No, the 818 does not include the walking trail.
okay. So how do we,
Walking trail.
The walking trail, if you look at the last page, what you got? Well, not the last page. Yep. The alternate 3, that's the price for the walking trail.
Alternate 3?
Alternate 3 is the price for your walking trail.
How much
Item
is
number
that?
24.
69.3?
Huh?
69,300. That's what I read here.
Commissioner Stevens, you meet me halfway, I'll help you with that.
where we going?
No, it's 84,150 through RL Construction.
Oh, I'm sorry, the wrong column.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, wrong column. So,
You still good?
yeah, so I'd
It just went up.
Prices were up.
Maybe you can just talk about percentage participation, because it'll be less than 84.
it'll be less than
Well,
80.
now, I was pretty generous at Miller Park now,
Yeah, you were.
and I just was, looking at that's just the walking trail. What is the,
The whole thing was 818.
818, if you look on page
and all
2,
of them meet the, requirements for,
Contingent,
MWP?
contingent upon, he says.
so, yes, sir, it will be contingent upon them, a positive report from Delisa for the MWBE requirements.
And that should be in the mail theoretically?
Theoretically.
Let's just, hold, the money, and if that's what you wanna do, Mr. Chairman, I'll help you with it.
That's what we want to do.
Okay.
I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
right now, we're looking at the project for the lights at Flemington, to help the city of Flemington with the new grocery store, right?
The traffic light, yes, sir.
Okay, and then we're looking at the, are we gonna have to have lights, Joey, or Trent, at 84 in the health department?
No,
Because we're
all,
gonna still be using them
all
on
city.
Main Street?
Right, and it's too close to the other.
Too close together.
Okay.
That's gonna be a raised meeting. If we can just award the primary plus alternate 1 right now,
okay,
we'll reserve that other set-aside money
okay.
and then tackle the walking trail. It'd be better to go ahead and get this construction out of the way, because they're not really walking trail oriented.
Yeah.
And let somebody do the walking trail side.
Joe, you mentioned lighting too. Is that,
The lighting, if we did lighting, it's gonna be, you won't really have any capital outlay costs on
Okay.
that. Generally, how we do our lighting is with a maintenance agreement.
okay, okay,
No upfront money.
Okay.
That way they service.
okay, all right.
We
Chair,
did the
entertain a
same way
motion.
on this one.
All right, Chair, entertain a motion.
This Commissioner Stevens' district, so
Not money. It ain't his money.
No, it ain't my money, so let's spend it. What was that total price?
The total number is $818,320 even, and our recommendation is with a 10% contingency.
10% contingency. Okay. All right.
Got it, I didn't forget it.
All right. I'll make that motion that we go along with the
818,320.
8320.
818,320.00.
Zero on this, on the Jones Creek project, with 10% contingency.
Is that a second to the motion?
Right, based on
I'll
the
make that
information coming
second.
from
All
the.
right, with the kind offer.
I'll offer, but we'll see what
Well, it don't work for me like it worked for y'all. All in favor, show of hands, please. It's good that project is coming to fruition. It's been a long time in the planning for that. We're looking for that.
Yes, sir.
And another thing, Mr. Chairman, Trent and I had mentioned this the other day, and I know it's probably a long ways down the road, but there is a possibility that that could be dredged, that area out. So I say, since our representative's on the DNR board, just send him a letter and ask him to see what we need to do to meet the guidelines to dredge that. And we could leave the spoil on the hill until it dries. And Clint may be able to use it, or we'll sell it to the concrete plant. But it'll basically be just sealed sand when the time comes. Let's look at that, if everybody will go along with that.
We also, Commissioner Frazier mentioned, we're also trying to explore, maximize, what the word is, it being, the natural resources of the area so that people might be able to
Yes, sir.
access to water, but that's
So
phase
why-
two or
why don't I
whatever you call
do
it.
this real quick? In my amendment meeting, I'll kind of bring back some pictures and some of the processes that we got to go through to do that.
Okay.
And it will become a recurring activity over a certain number of years. That way you can kind of see what happens, and that way you can, everybody can make a good decision on what to do.
All right. Now, send some information to, who let's send it to? I think maybe you, Joey, and Raymond, about a grant I read about, I'm always reading these, y'all should let me read these magazines, they talked about making donations and doing stuff kind of like what we're talking about. Okay, so let's Liberty County at least pursue it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But let's not. Who said leave money on the table? You said that. Let's not leave any money on the table.
I always say don't leave money
if it's out there, especially.
We'll do this, we won't talk to DNR also.
Yeah. And this is only.
They would be the cycle for
Yeah.
that, permitting and everything.
Yeah. Only one or two parks that has waterfront access. That's Eve Park and this one. Am I right? Yeah. So we need to maximize that if we can.
Well, you've got Eve Park, that one, and then you got Sunbury.
Well, I kind of
So, and you got Sunbury, and you got the.
Sunbury boat ramp.
ramp.
Yeah.
Interstate.
Or D.S. Smith. Or
That's D.S. Smith.
Yeah.
But we're at least another month.
All right. Did we vote? Okay. Thank you, Maria. All
Are
right.
we voting?
Thank you, sir. We voted.
You missed the vote.
Oh, I'll have it.
Forgot I abstained.
I'm playing back for him.
And
All right, thank
you made the second as well.
Thank you, sir.
All right, just one, Mr. Chairman, I
sorry.
got one.
I'm sorry.
One for Trent tonight.
You can't never, can you
Just-
call Trent some?
Just one. No. Because I can't hardly reach him sometimes, but, no, really. Have you checked the septic tank installation at Miller Park? Is it okay to put back that clay, what they're putting back, the one you have to beat, take a sledgehammer and beat on the side of the bucket around the septic tanks and stuff?
Let me get a look. I was not out there when they were installing it. Our soils report said that the soils there we designed based on our soils report. So if you got something that's not looking good there, I need to go look at that.
That's
So
not-
thank you for letting me know.
That's not looking good, buddy.
I saw the pictures, but I didn't know it's red clay, the old red clay?
The one you got to beat on, you got to take a sledgehammer and
didn't
beat
see
on the
it.
side of the bucket for it to fall out?
Yes, sir, and
No.
unfortunately, in that area out there, it's very easy to move 50 feet and have different dirt,
Really?
you know.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
The terrain of
We'll
Liberty.
take a look at it and see.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Trent, I need to see you over
Okay, I'll come around.
In your office? ESPLOST Election.
Members of the board, at the December meeting, y'all asked me to get some information, and before I go, I want to share that Chairman McGyver of the Board of Elections is here tonight to provide any additional information that you may have. We did an investigation, and what I have before you in a packet is we provided the election from the last ESPLOST, which was conducted in March of 2021. It was $95,540.52. At that time, y'all did agree to split the cost, and that was the $47,000. But the question y'all really want to know is what was the most recent general election, which was the November election that was recently held, and those costs were $200,105. So those were the costs for the most recent general election that we had in November. And talking to Mr. Davis, he indicated that the question came up about Board of Education talking about using their money to spend it on elections, and the Attorney General said, yeah, you can use that money.
Okay.
So they recommend that you can spend all your money to do the election, so.
Okay. Mr. McIver, will you mind coming up, please, sir? Mr. John and Kelly. Mr. John McIver, will you come? Yeah. Kelly, I'm curious as to how that question was raised about whether that came from, I'm not sure I won't go too deep in the weeds, but what brought that question?
Yeah, this conversation happens throughout the state in different jurisdictions.
Okay.
And it's a common position of Board of Education. They're only allowed to expend monies for educational purposes.
Okay.
An election is not an educational
Okay.
purpose. There's no definitive law, but the Attorney General has issued opinion saying that no, Boards of Education can spend monies for the conduct of elections, and they should. But that's the Attorney General's opinion.
Okay.
And so I know historically, we have, at least most recently, shared in the cost of the election. And so I guess it's before you folks tonight to decide whether or not you want to continue that practice, if you want to shift the burden more to the Board of Education, or how you'd like to approach the matter. And then Mr. McIver may have some thoughts on it.
And that's the position I think we need to know from the board. The last election for the ESPLOST, attorney said that we shared the cost. I think Mr. Moser had a breakout. That election costed us
Yeah, we have it.
$5,000,
95, 540.
and we shared the cost equally. So I think, and I feel like I should tell the board this, that it's in keeping that we set a precedent wherein we don't have to go through this every time the Board of Election want to have a ESPLOST stand alone, not with the countywide election, but their own election, that we have a set of precedent where we have it in black and white. What the percentage of the cost of the election going to be and how it's going to be shared. Because we should have approved the intergovernmental agreement at the December 20th Board of Election meeting. We're behind the time now for having that intergovernmental agreement signed and given to you all and to the Board of Election. So that's where we are. So that's why it's important tonight for the Board of Commissioners to decide how you're going to have the cost shared with the Board of Election, the Board of Education, so we can get the intergovernmental agreement signed. We need it signed.
You want to add something to it?
If y'all were to choose to do cost sharing, Mr. Chair, we do not have that money budgeted.
Oh, well, that's easy then.
Yeah, we don't have it in our budget. Okay. Ready for a motion?
So let me make sure I'm clear. So we don't have it in our budget, so we did not anticipate an ESPLOST election for 2025?
We weren't given that notice until like November, I believe it was, September.
And by that time, we had already,
But it could have happened in November. They could have had it in November.
I'm not sure that their referendum dates followed local dates for things that possibly could have, but it could have really gone that power.
okay, all right,
Mr.
okay.
McIver,
But
can I ask a question? All of ESPLOST money goes to ESPLOST, is that correct?
100% goes to the
Education,
Board of
right.
Education.
But what is that's
for capital,
raised
it's for
in
capital.
the districts or the county, we using it here, we don't we're using it just for the county, and they're using it solely for their schools. And, that's where I'm saying that we, if it's gonna be split money-wise, then we ought to be splitting ESPLOST, but we can't do that legally by law, so they ought to be able to fund it 100% by themselves. That's my feelings on it.
Right.
Is that a motion?
Yeah.
That's a motion.
I'll
Mr.
second it.
Chairman?
And let's make the motion clear. So the motion is, well, I'm not gonna put words in your mouth. Restate your motion, please, sir.
Sir?
Restate your motion,
Okay.
yeah.
That the Board of Education funds it solely themselves.
Okay, all right, all right. All right, any further discussion? And here are the extenuating circumstances, what I heard you here. We were not able to respond, your board, to even consider that for budget because the request was not made prior to your setting your budget for the Board of Elections.
Correct.
So it kind of catches it, not kind of, the kind of disadvantage that we didn't have time to plan for that. And they want to have the election, a sole election by itself, standalone, in March. So the clock is ticking for them to meet all the deadlines they have to meet, all the timelines they have to meet. All right.
That's a very nice way to.
So here's where we are. Did I say it?
Pretty nice
Yeah,
way to say it.
Very
all right.
nicely.
All right. So the Board of Commissioners then has no other, what's the word? But,
No more dogs in the fight.
but to pass this on. All right. All in favor, show of hands, please. All right. I want to make it clear. I want to print it where it's,
So, Mr. Chairman, that would make a precedent, like Mr. McIver said.
Yeah.
From now on, they are
Well,
to pay in full.
I was
for
under-
their election.
we have to create an MOU, he says.
So the other action that you will have to take, which will be stipulated in that, is to adopt a formal agreement
Yeah.
between the boards to
Yeah,
do that.
yeah.
Or go ahead and give the chairman authority to sign that agreement so that they can get that based on these stipulations. That's really what you need to do. You don't have.
Let's don't talk about that tonight then.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have a standard
You have
form
to have
agreement with the
that
Board of Education.
The
So-
intergovernmental agreement,
Yeah.
intergovernmental agreement.
And so what I'd
Just
recommend.
This election.
Yeah, what I'd recommend is the board authorize the chairman to execute our standard form intergovernmental agreement with the Board of Education with a stipulation that the Board of Education fund 100% of the election.
So I hear you very well. So is that a part of the motion we just made, or is that a separate motion?
Separate motion.
Separate motion? Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Second, Mr. Chair.
Second, motion second, that you allow the chairman to sign the intergovernmental agreement for this upcoming March ESPLOST election.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Everybody clear?
Yeah.
Motion clear.
Is that,
Yes, with the first
is it
motion.
also in that agreement that they, 30 days prior to it, that they pay up front, or was that something else I saw?
I mean, that may be something, for this, they're
Yeah.
paying 100%.
Yeah.
Right.
I think you're going into an issue of.
No. No, that was for that's for municipal.
And what I'm saying is, we don't want to go back through that dragging
Yeah.
out as the other.
That was
in the past.
municipal, that wasn't,
So
yeah,
if we're gonna start this
Yeah.
procedure,
I think they have money.
they got it.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Just
Yeah.
like others,
All right.
some of the others had it too, but they still drag their feet paying.
Well, that's municipal versus school board. I see, you gives a turning, sir.
Mr. Chair, that was going to be some additional language that the Board of
Okay,
Elections is going to
okay.
bring back to the board on the.
Municipal side.
All right,
Mhm, that's what I'm saying, okay. All right, all in favor? All right, motion passes, all right. Y'all get it ready, we'll sign it. All right, who will communicate with the school board?
You,
I mean, I know that somebody's probably watching, but how'd that official communication happen?
I mean, they reached out to both of us, so
The contract, based on what your actions just taken, then I have my board to authorize me to sign it because we don't want to wait till our next meeting.
Yeah,
I have authorization to
okay,
sign the contract.
okay.
I just need
The terminology, now you
the
have
knowledge
that.
and the standards for
Okay.
how you're going to be,
And they,
costs can be shared.
and they can say yea or nay.
Yeah.
Okay,
just I will reach back out to Mr. Jackson tomorrow
okay,
to let.
okay. All right,
And I can circulate the agreement for as
And I would hope that we'd be more proactive next time so we don't get to this point. Let's go ahead. I'm like you, I believe in being proactive. So moving forward, let's have something in MOU in writing so that we don't get caught.
Like that should be a discussion between the chair of the Board of Education
Yeah,
and the chair here. And
We
so
will.
we will know definitely going forward. We won't have to be dealing
Yeah.
with this issue again.
all right. But help me out, and we're moving on. So they have never reached out to me about the elections. Who, they contact you all? Who gets the first notice that?
I'll go back and look, but I
Okay.
believe to me, it came in an email.
Well, most times they deal with our supervisor, Ms. Walthall.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Maybe I was copied. I'll have to go back and look at
Okay,
that email.
all right, okay. We'll bridge that gap. All right. Thank you, Mr. McGowan. Thank you,
All right, appreciate it.
Mosley Attorney. Yeah. Any administrator, you ready, sir?
Mr. Chair, as we're getting ready to plan for our Commissioners' Planning Retreat, the question that we have is, do y'all want a full day, or would y'all like to break it up in 2 half-days?
We did 2 halves last time,
That's
right?
what I'm thinking too.
Yeah, 2 halves.
Okay. Is that a general consensus, sir?
Sir?
Is that a general consensus, 2 halves?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And
Thank
one
you,
other
sir.
question I had, Mr. Chairman, the meeting that Mr. Rickerson was talking about, the mid-year, when was it?
February the 19th.
I
He
can't
said
remember if I already.
You should have got an email.
Seems like I did.
February 18th, I think I heard it was said.
But
All they sent out, from what I remember, is just a whole.
February
a
19th.
whole day.
And then they were gonna send back an agenda.
This is 9 to 12.
Okay.
It's 3 hours, 9 to 12 on the 19th.
On February,
On
that
the
was a whole
19th?
day.
Mhm.
Okay.
Unless she changed it.
But that is the date?
The date. Mhm.
February
She-
19th.
She was doing a save the date thing.
And did they know where? Not yet? Okay, just send me that information. I'll make sure that I put it on my calendar.
We were trying to do the complex, but that might interfere with the voting for ESPLOST, so we may have to go back to the hunting club
Okay.
place, yeah. Yeah, but our first choice was the complex, but then we ran to the whole early voting thing for ESPLOST. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Right, yeah, okay. Thank you.
All right, is that all administratively?
Yes, we just have personnel for executive session.
All right. Commissioners, anything from you before we go back into executive session? So when we're coming out, we're going home. All right, Chair, entertain a motion to go out of public session into executive session for personnel. Second, all in favor, show of hands. We're not in executive session. Those of you who are leaving, thank you.
executive session if you want to.
Hold on, wait, Clint, go ahead. All right, now.
Yeah, we had discussed,
No, just a motion to come out of executive session.
Motion first.
Come out of executive session.
Second.
Hold on, I think where Ed was going was another topic for executive session, wasn't it?
Yeah, but you've been in executive session, so you
Oh,
need
did you
to
wanna
come
talk?
back out of that to discuss anything in open.
Right, that's correct.
Otherwise, we have to have the
I
whole.
make a motion, we come out of executive session
Second.
All in favor?
and go back in executive session for personnel matters.
Well, okay, so you vote on that one? Got it back? Okay. Now I need a new motion to go back in. Executive session, discuss personnel.
Any motion?
Second. I make a motion, we go into executive
All in
session.
favor?
What? I
All
thought
right, give us 10 minutes.
Where was it?
We need to be in executive session. Are you saying with these employees or without?
Any motion to go back into regular session?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Show of hands. All right.
What I had looked at was the different, since my election, and some of the other commissioners will be faced with the same thing, is territory-wise, I mean, I was basically driving on a paved road. So now I've got dirt roads, and I wanted to increase the per diem $300 for the chairman and the commissioners.
Second.
That's $300 per month, sir?
Sir?
$300 a month?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right,
Per diem.
per diem, okay. All right, we got a motion and a second, right?
Yes, or not the salary, just the per diem.
Okay.
So does the per diem have to wait another election cycle? It could go into effect next month.
Have is what date you
Yeah,
want
what
to make
date?
this.
Effective?
Next month. February, well,
Commissioner Walden, effective February 1?
February 1st?
That's probably good, because you're really getting paid at the end of January
Retro.
for the month prior, so it's, yeah.
Mr. Brown, question, Mr. Mosley, too. With this per diem, we will see an increase, plus we will already see another additional increase, am I correct? first of the year?
Your salary.
Salary will also increase plus the per diem.
Yes, sir. Based on years of service, based on tenure, and based on cost of living that was assigned by the legislature.
State legislator.
Right.
Chairman Blunt came in at the right time, didn't he?
All right, all in favor? Show of hands. All right. $300 additional per month starting February. Okay. All right. All right. Chair, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. All in favor. All right. Need to speak with you, Miss.